Hey everyone, and welcome to another installment of Tom's World. In today's video, we're walking up Gibson Road here in Bensalem, and we're going to check out this old mansion-like house that dates back to the 1770s and does have some historical significance. I do believe that this is how Croydon, which is just outside in the Chamonix State Park, I do believe this is how that Croydon got its name. So anyway, I'm a little out of breath. It's been kind of a long walk, and I actually had to do this twice. Because I forgot my little cheat sheet with the facts on it. But anyway, enough of that. Let's go check this out. So as I said, I do believe that this place, which was called Croydon Lodge, is how Croydon, the area, got its name. It dates back to the 1770s, and I do have a little cheat sheet, as I said, with some little facts on it and stuff, and I will take that out when we get up there. And we're almost there, actually. It's just past this little building right here. And I'm sorry if in the intro I wasn't really looking directly at the camera, but as you'll see when I turn around here, you know, I had to watch where I was walking. So anyway, we have this little building here which is closed down, I guess, or no, I don't think it's closed down. It's pretty well maintained. I just don't know what it is. And just on the other side of this is where Croydon Lodge is. And once I get up here, I'll take out my little cheat sheet and I'll give you some facts on it. It's a pretty interesting story, and the facts that I have aren't the entire story, but it just gives you a baseline. A lot of pretty flowers growing right there, though. And here it is. I don't think I'll be able to get really close. As it says, it's under 24-hour surveillance, but I could at least go up to the line here. I'll extend you out a little. This is Croydon Lodge. Just imagine if this building goes back to the 1770s. It's been through hell and back, been passed down from family to family, generation to generation, and has gone through all kinds of vandalism inside, fires, and yet the building still stands. Here you can see another look at it from a different perspective. Not that you can see that much of it. Just amazing to think how long this has been here. Way longer than my garden. Well, I don't want to call it my garden. It's our garden. Now, for a long time, it was said that people would pass right by here and not even know this was back there until they cleared out the trees down that way. And you can see why. I mean, there's a big, thick line of trees here. And this used to be over 500 acres of land that this stood on. And here is yet another point of view. I saw a little opening in the trees, and I'm at the point where you're not allowed to pass. I really wish somebody was there. Maybe they would let me on the property to take better pictures. But as I talk about the history here, I'll see if I can manage to find. Sorry about the cars going by. I don't know how loud that is for you guys. But while I'm reading the history, I'll see if I can find some pictures of it when it was in its heyday online, and then I'll stick them into the video here. I do know that there was some that I found, and there was even some pictures of the inside before fires and all that stuff had happened, when there were still people taking care of it. But anyway, here we go. So this house was built by Major Thomas Barnsley. Let me take my sunglasses off. Maybe I'll be able to read better. He was part of the British Army during the French Indian War. On this side, like here in the US, and I believe the French Indian War, a lot of it took place around in Pennsylvania too. Not 100% sure, don't quote me on that. I'm not a historian, and I did not look that up at all. But he returned to England after the war, and then he retired. Then he set forth, he sailed to what he was going to be, what he thought was going to be Philadelphia, with his wife and his nephew. And he wanted to build a mansion similar to the red brick mansions that he saw while he was in Virginia. Obviously part of it, you can see the back of it there is stone, but the front will be brick. And I'll go back to the front in a minute. So he sailed apparently up Neshaminy Creek. So it must have been either a small boat, or maybe Neshaminy Creek was wider back then, or maybe it was just high tides or something like that. But he sailed up Neshaminy Creek and he saw the village of Newportville, which is what we are in right now. That was what that was considered at one time. And he bought 537 acres and started building Croydon Lodge, named for his birthplace over in England. By the early 1770s, both he and his wife had passed away, and this place was bought by someone named John Swift. The Swift family maintained the Croydon Lodge until 1882. It was then bought by a Dr. Richard Dingy, or Dingy. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's D-I-N-G-E-E, just in case you wanted to look it up. And it was passed through several generations of the doctor's family. Eventually it was sold in 2011 with the remaining 6 acres, which I guess is everything that it has right here. And it was sold to a developer who died soon after the sale. It went through much vandalism, and it went through a few different fires that were set inside, including taking away the old stairway that they had, which I do know was in those pictures, so you may have already seen that. And in the last few years, it was bought by a couple who are now fixing it up to make it their home. I would so love to be able to, well, to help them restore this land would be great. So if the couple that bought this place, if you were watching, please reach out to me. I need no money from you. I would just take great joy in trying to restore this land and maybe be able to see what the inside looks like at some point. So again, this is all you would see as you were walking or driving by, and you wouldn't know that that was a house in there. I mean, today as you go by, you can see it through the trees, but the tree line used to be a lot thicker than it is now. And here we are back at the first spot that I came to. You can see that a lot of the windows have been boarded up. They've been working on this, I think, since 2018. So they've had it for a while. I'm not sure what the holdup is. By now, they should have had most of it redone, but I'm sure there's always legal holdups, permits, things like that. There might be mold in there, all kinds of things that they're taking care of. I'm not sure because there's not really much in the way of details on what they're doing or what their progress has been. For all I know, they may have decided it was like too much money and had abandoned it because, well, I don't see any real work that seems to have gone on in the last couple of years, because I looked on Google Maps and it doesn't seem like much has been done, and a lot of this has obviously grown up a lot, like the vegetation here. So I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I'll have to look into seeing who actually owns this, if I can find that out online somehow, or if anybody watching this knows, or if the people that are owning this are watching this, please contact me. I would love to explore the history of this place, because I myself grew up spending a lot of time in Croydon, and if this is where the namesake of the town came from, I would love to delve into that. Here's another look at the flowers that I said were pretty when I was coming up. There's some kind of lily. I don't know if it's native. I doubt it. I doubt that any lily is native, but then again, not a horticulturalist. I don't know. While I have been delving a lot into flowers lately, it's just been some native flowers that were on our list. But I don't know, maybe they are. But here's a close-up of one of them. But man, just try to picture 537 acres. He had all different kinds of like buildings made in there for like a blacksmith, things like that, and it was all on his land, which over the years, when it was passed through the different families and generations of families, they sold off little parts of the land here and there, mostly to commercial and residential. Obviously, if you're from the area, you know that, or at least you know that it's a lot of commercial and residential. But it's hard to imagine how vast this land was, like the different buildings that were on it. And maybe somewhere back there in the woods, I'm guessing that woods goes on. I've never really traipsed around in the woods around here, so I don't know. But maybe somewhere is like the foundations of one of the buildings he made, or maybe some ruins. Who knows? If anybody has explored back there and you know what's going on, let me know in the comments, or feel free to contact me. You can contact me on my Facebook page for Tom's World. The link for that is always in the description of every video. And yeah, there it is, Croydon Lodge. It's a shame that they couldn't make it like a historical place and keep it restored. I don't know whatever happened with that. Maybe it just got forgotten about. So I'll head back to the car. Maybe we'll take a ride into Croydon. I know I've done that before, but maybe we'll take a ride there just so that we could see again the area that was named after this place. All right, so here we are at Ford Road and Newportville Road. We're on Newportville. Obviously now I have learned through doing a little history of Croydon Lodge that this road is named after the village of Newportville. And eventually we're gonna be coming up on the area of Croydon known as New Croydon, which in the one video where I did drive around Croydon, I did not go into the New Croydon area. I passed by it. But I'm gonna go down to Maple Ave and I'm gonna make a left, and I'm gonna go down there because I used to have a really good friend that lived there. She has long since passed away. I do miss her a lot, but she used to live somewhere on there. I'm not gonna point out where exactly, just in case her family still does live there. But yeah, just so you can get a little glimpse of what New Croydon looks like, sort of. I know Maple Ave isn't like the definitive road as far as the way everything looks in New Croydon, but it's the one I'm familiar with, and that should be coming up soon after we go past I don't even know if this is still called Glen Hollow Apartments. It used to be, and it still is. I just saw a sign for it. I think Maple Ave is not the first one, but the next one after. Yeah, Prospect Ave. That's a big house. And here we are, Maple Ave. Know this area pretty well from when I was younger. Spent a lot of time here with my friend, and it was good times. Definitely good times. And you know what? I probably couldn't even point out the house anymore, because I probably, unless it hasn't changed, which I doubt because it's been a lot of years. My friend passed away back in the 90s, so I would have to assume that the house has been updated. But I don't know. I think maybe I could point it out if it still looks somewhat the same. But I won't do that. You take note, for those of you who aren't from the area, that there's no sidewalks. Throughout most of Croydon, whether it be New Croydon or Old Croydon, there's not sidewalks. I mean, there's in New Croydon and Croydon Acres, there's some spots that have sidewalks and stuff, but in Old Croydon, you're hard pressed to find them, and they don't go very far. And you can see nothing, you know, particularly stands out. It's just like a rural neighborhood, and it seems that they're doing some kind of construction there. So I'll turn around and then go back up Prospect and back on to Newportville, and then we'll go back down in Old Croydon. Now behind all these houses on the right, Neshaminy Creek is there. You can't really see it, and I don't want to invade anybody's privacy by fully recording the front of their house with their address and all that, but I'm sorry if I wasn't holding the camera up high enough there. A little hard to pay attention to driving and the camera. But now we're going back down to Bristol Pike, and we'll go down to Cedar Ave. and we'll go into Old Croydon. Now as we go down here, I'm pretty sure I went under this bridge down at the bottom of Cedar Ave before, and I explained that for whatever reason, even though it clearly states what the clearance is, right over there you can see it, that yellow sign, trucks that are too tall still like to go down here, and people from the area do know that they tend to get stuck down there a lot. And you'll see it's not a real high clearance. It states it again, 12 feet 8 inches. Yet trucks that are taller than that constantly get stuck going under here from both sides. To the right, there was a park there that they made in recent years. You can't see the air quotes when I say park. It's very, very small. And there was a lot of controversy over it and about getting lights in there and all kinds of stuff over time. I figure we'll go straight down Cedar. Why not? Just made that light. There used to be a place down here, I don't know if it's still there. It used to be called Brenner Tool and Die. I actually worked for them for a brief period of time. I think it's this building here on the left. Yeah. I don't know what it is anymore. Obviously still functioning, but I don't see a name. It's B-Tech. I bet the B stands for Brenner. Now somewhere back in these streets, and I'm not sure exactly where it is the Neshaminy Brewing Company. It's a really cool place. They have a lot of events there, especially in the warmer weather like this. Obviously last year they did not, due to the pandemic and whatnot. But now that things are opening more, maybe they'll be doing more. I was there for one event with my sister in the last like 2 or 3 years. It was fun. There was a lot of people there. I'm not really familiar with River Road here. I'm sure I've been on it. I've pretty much been everywhere there is to be in Old Croydon. But I'm not all that familiar with it. Like, I didn't come back here too often. Though it's kind of hard to get lost in Croydon. You know, it's mostly like a grid for the streets, so you can kind of figure it out. Obviously back here there's more industrial than anything else. So a lot of this is not new to me, but new to me again, if that makes any sense. Planted a lot of trees there though. Love seeing that. I have no idea where this is going to end up, but I'm going to keep going. I'm eventually going to get back to the houses and you know, be in that area again real quick before I end the video, which there's a very good chance that you all know where I'm going to end the video, just because I have to go there. I'm there pretty much every day. So here at the end of River Road, and I kind of figured this is where it was going to dump me out onto State Road. Once I started seeing some of the industrial that looked familiar, and I saw a railroad track sign, I pretty much knew it was going to bring me out to State Road. I'll put my windows up. There you go, now you can hear me better. But yeah, I pretty much figured it was going to dump me back out on the state road, which takes me back into Old Croydon, which essentially that's where I am right now. This is Old Croydon. It's just not where the houses are just yet, but they're coming up. Bull Tavern is still there. Anybody from the area has at least heard of it, if not been in there. I know I was in there a couple times over the years. We got this used to be Two Girls Deli? No, State Road. Two Girls Deli was up that way. I get confused. I'm getting old, you know. Happens to the best of us. I'm looking for a specific road that I did go down before. This one, actually. Almost missed it. Can't see the street signs until you get on it. This is Logan Ave. And I have to believe that the reason why this was named Logan Ave was all due to Robert Logan and Sarah Logan. So all this should be familiar to those of you who do follow me regularly. So I won't bore you with it again. So back on Pennsylvania Ave again, and I'm gonna let this person go by. And I think while I'm tooling around in these back streets here, I think this time I actually will stop by to say hi to my mom. I haven't seen her in a few weeks now, I think. It's been about that long, maybe longer. So, I will be right back. All right, here we go, heading down to you know where. Oh, dude. You know who you are. Anyway, yes, heading down State Road. Waiting for the light. Light change, we can go. I honestly can't wait to get there today. I talked to some of the other volunteers and they said that they put in some new plants, and I was there yesterday, but I apparently didn't realize that they were there. So I'm gonna check them out. Now going across the bridge that goes over into Chamonix Creek. And then we are almost there. And now here we are in the garden, of course. Real quick little walk by, you can see how everything's doing. A lot of it is getting a lot better. Excuse me. Even the one phlox back here, it's actually got flowers on it. Check that out. How awesome is that? The bee balms, you know, they continue to bloom, and then the flowers die. They have to be pinched off and new ones grow. We're taking care of all that. And once again, by we, I mean the other volunteers and I. The columbines, I found from the last video, and you can see there's virtually no little trails on the leaves here. The last couple days I've been coming by and clipping the leaves off that were affected by those leaf miners, which is what those little trails were. They looked like little snail trails, but they weren't. They're little larvae that burrow through the leaf. Different insects lay their larvae, and that's how they feed themselves. Everything else is growing very nicely. The other columbine down here, oh, some new little plants in there, and some over there by that tree. The Solomon seal, all doing good. The other columbines I haven't looked at yet since I've been here, but I've been clipping the leaves off that were affected by those little leaf miners. And already it actually looks like it's standing tall, but there are Still some. So I'm gonna have to take care of that before I leave. There's doesn't seem to be any on these ones here. If my, there we go. My gimbal wasn't cooperating, as always. And then the other little combine there, he doesn't look good at all. He may be on his way out. Or she, depending on how you look at it. The hosta flowers are sprouting up. One of them's even open over here a little bit. Although it's not quite a flower yet, but it's got a bud on there. And the phlox over here, still doing good. It's standing strong. Doesn't have as many flowers on it as it did before, but there will be. All these little things right here, they're all gonna bloom out and be flowers. Even the wisteria bush looks so much happier this year. All these little seed pods on here. There was only like 2 or 3 on this bush last year. Now there are tons. Tons. Anyway, that was just a quick walkthrough update. Almost forgot the ferns over here. They're looking better. Little guy is actually looking better too. Hasn't grown much, but the other 2 are looking good. And the fern on the other side is good. And even that little tiny hosta right there has 1, 2, 3, 4 flower buds growing up out of it. Now we just need to get this place mowed, and everything will look good. I mean, it already looks good. It's beautiful. But you know what I mean. There's my little buddy right there, chilling on that little clump of grass. I did put a smaller frog or toad, I'm not sure what it was, that I found in the garden on Monday when I was here with my son. I did put one in here. I haven't seen it since, but it might just be hiding. I don't know. Or maybe he jumped out. Either way, I tried to contribute to your colony there, friend, but either you ate him or he's gone. And so that is going to do it for this video. Thank you for coming along with me and for learning something new. It was definitely interesting learning about Croydon Lodge. I know a little bit more now about the history of Croydon than I used to. And I hope I was able to help everyone else learn something new. So, if this is your first time here, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And when you do, make sure you click the notification bell. That way you'll be sure to receive the notifications when I put new videos up. I keep promising that they're going to be coming more rapidly than they have been, and I have not held my end of the bargain of that promise, and I apologize, but it will be happening soon. I'm starting to gather up a bunch of different locations to go to. I do have to get permission for some of them, so I'm waiting on that. But needless to say, they will be coming. Anyway, also make sure you give this video a big thumbs up right underneath the video, and make sure you comment on the video. If you happen to have more information than I had given on the Croydon Lodge, please feel free to add to that. And yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. So make sure you stay safe, stay healthy, and take care.